What's going on, Coach Launch Crew? Some great questions in here this week. If my eyes look heavy, it's because button's going crazy over here. It's because my youngest was not feeling well last night, so we were up and down all night long doing, throw up patrol. So, listen, just Allie, what's going on? Love Kristie's question here around, do you do what it takes, and how do you find the balance between doing what it takes versus authentically being yourself in your coaching business? And then in the comments, she talked a little bit about not wanting to necessarily use her personal profile because it's kind of the place where she is able to just be her. Hey, Leanne, how are you doing? I've been following you as you've been following your way through the units and trying to answer your questions and as you've gone through, and I hope you're finding it extremely helpful. So this is a really good question, Kristie, and it's important that we answer it. Now, there's a couple assumptions. One is that you would only be using your Facebook profile. That's not true, right? The natural enrollment method that you're talking about, that's specifically, we go deep into it in Unit 4. That's something that those are principles that you use anywhere. Focusing on who you work with and having your message and your messaging resonate with people using your content. That content can be written content. It could be content on a blog. It could be content that you're sharing in conversation at a conference. I did this. I first did this and launched my coaching business going to conferences. I've mentioned that before. Yes, Lori, Kristie's question was around a couple things. One, how do you know the difference between doing whatever it takes, because that's what you have to do to grow a business, versus being authentic and true to myself, particularly in reference to using your personal profile to build your coaching business. So, Kristie, I am going to answer you honestly, and I'm going to give you the best advice I can, because that's why I'm here. That's why we have this group. I'm not going to tell you something that you want to hear. I may tell you something that you do want to hear, but it's not for those reasons. I'm just going to give you what I think works best. The assumption is that you would only use natural enrollment method on Facebook and on your profile. But the reality is that when you pull up and you get a 30,000 foot view, these are just principles of resonating with people, engaging with people, conversing with them, escalating that engagement, having a private conversation with them. And then if they're a fit, and if you want to work with them, and if you can help them, then you enroll them into your coaching program, whatever your coaching program may be. So yeah, I did this. I started doing this, going to conferences, connecting with people, having lunch with people, just talking to people. We all had something in common, just like a Facebook group. We all had something in common. We were a group from all over the world at the specific conference around a specific topic. And so we had things to talk about and things to share, and we would connect in conversation. And over and over again, as I would go to another conference, I would connect with people and I would come home. And after a while, I would have more clients enrolled because I was just doing this natural enrollment method. Now, I didn't know what I was doing at the time, so it took a lot longer, and it will take a lot longer if you don't use social media. Now, here's the thing about using your personal Facebook profile, and I will get to your question. Do you have a mindset issue, or do you need to stay true to yourself? If you use a Facebook business page, you are always, always, always going to be limited by how much money you spend to boost your posts, because Facebook only puts your stuff from a business page in front of other people for the most part when you pay them to. They're a company, and that's how this company grows. That's how this company profits. Does that make sense? Right? You have a business page, and so they profit from your business. Right? This is why people with 1 million followers, occasionally you'll see a post that wasn't boosted, had no advertisement in front of it, and it only has a few likes and a couple shares and a couple comments. And then the next one you see from them has like 40,000 likes, right? 400 shares, 300 and some comments. It's because those people are putting money behind their business page. I put money behind my business page. I run ads, but that's where I'm at in my business. I didn't consistently run ads when I first started because I didn't know what to talk about. I hadn't done the work to get inside the head and heart of my potential client. And why I run ads now and why I can run ads now is because I have profit and revenue coming in from my business because I have a really strong coaching business. It's thriving. So I can use that money to make more money. You don't need this when you first start. This is what's brilliant about Facebook profiles and using them. Okay, so I'm gonna just lay this all out, and then we're gonna talk about people who really don't want to use their profile and what they do, what they'll have to do. Now, that's the business page, the business side of Facebook. The personal page side of Facebook is Facebook wants people to have engaging conversations that are interesting. They want the friends to all connect and be sharing and liking and commenting and talking and messaging with each other. So when you do the work, you begin inside the head and the heart of your client, this is like a compounded catalyst. When you use your personal profile, if someone resonates with it and likes it or comments or shares, Facebook says, oh, good conversation going over here. Let's spread it out to other people. And then their friends see their comments on your posts and see the engagement between you and them, and then they start engaging, and you get this massive effect of engagement, and you can literally grow your platform without spending money on advertising. Are you with me so far? Is everybody with me so far? If that makes sense. Facebook business page is set up so that you only get interaction, views, engagement if you spend money. Personal profile is set up that if your content and posts resonate with people and they interact, Facebook explodes that. Let me know if that makes sense. Hey, Kristie, you made it. I know you had to do school runs. I did. I actually just got back from picking my daughters up from school. Okay, Leanne, you're with me. All right. So Facebook business, you have to pay. Facebook profile, you don't. And Facebook rewards you for connecting with your potential clients. Now, Kristie, I understand the question. I understand the desire to not use your personal profile on Facebook. The first 3 years of my coaching business, I didn't use my Facebook profile. I did when I first started, and then I was like, oh, I'll create a business page. And then I can have my personal life over here and my business life over here. Again, the problem that I ran into was I would have to boost posts just to get people to see them. And if you do that consistently in order to grow your business, you'll go out of business because you're not making enough money to boost your posts to get the engagement. So when my coaching business really took off is when I switched back to using my personal profile. Now, what does that mean? That means you've got some hard decisions to make. And I mean that for everybody. Again, you can use the natural enrollment method in person, in church, in coffee shops, at conferences, where you work out, whatever. Absolutely 100%, because we're just talking about a natural method of resonating, engaging, heightened engagement, conversations, and enrolling. But you can do it so much faster from your personal profile, and you'll have the power of Facebook behind you wanting to connect you to more and more and more people. So you have to decide at some point, do I like my privacy or do I want to make an impact? It doesn't mean you can't have both. You just have to find a different outlet if you're afraid to be yourself on your personal profile and talk about your business. I'm myself. If you go to my page, you're going to see pictures of me and my kitten, me and my daughters. Okay, you're just going to see that. You're going to see people tag me on stuff, but you're also going to see really quickly that I'm an executive coach and I help new coaches launch their coaching businesses. There's no way not to see that. In fact, there's no way to come to my personal profile and read it and not say, that guy knows what he's talking about. And I was literally just thinking about that this morning, and now he's posting about it. It happens all the time. I get messages all the time. My clients begin doing the same thing, but you have to ask yourself this question. And Kristie, forgive me. I'm not putting you on the spot. This is such a good question. I have to answer it. Are you going to be okay with you? Are you going to own who you are in this business? Because if you aren't, you're going to have a really, really hard time. It's going to be an uphill battle forever. And this goes for everybody. If you're afraid to use your personal profile because you love your privacy, first of all, if you're concerned about someone getting your information, if you're on Facebook, you don't have privacy. You signed that away when you made your agreement with Facebook. You have zero privacy. All the data that's on Facebook, it is not yours. All your pictures, they aren't yours. That's Facebook's property. They can use it any way they want to, for the most part. For the most part, right? So there are all kinds of things you can do, right? You can create different lists so different people can't see different things, but why is there that internal conflict within any of us? It's because we're afraid, I'm going to say it, we're afraid of what people will think of us. We're afraid of what our coworkers will think. We're afraid of what our families will think. We're afraid of what our new friends will think. We're afraid of what our old friends will think. And do you know what I decided? I'm going to be me. I'm going to live out my calling, and I don't care what any of you think. I want to show up, and I want to help people, and I want to make an impact in the world. And that's just what you're going to get, okay? It's just what you're going to get. Jesse says, I've been really resisting using my personal page. However, you have laid it out in a way that has made me look deeper, and I'm open to it. Jesse, first of all, I really like your posts, and I love that you're considering it. This is not something you have to do. I will say, for new coaches, this is the way. This costs nothing monetarily, and Facebook boosts for its people when you do the work to resonate, right? Now, if people aren't commenting or sharing or liking, it means you aren't adding enough friends, and maybe your content, you haven't done the work as well as you think you have to resonate. I'm not speaking to you specifically, Jesse, just in general. There's a lot of things that have to be done to make this work, right? And I explain them all in the units. But it's kind of like a line in the sand. And that's actually what's so beautiful, right? This is what's so beautiful about using your Facebook profile. It makes you draw that line in the sand for yourself. You're only drawing a line. I thought people were going to go crazy. One person has ever said anything. That was my Aunt Nancy, kept making comments on my profile saying, stop talking about self-growth and self-care and stop talking about self-development. Just show me pictures of my great-grandnieces. So do you know what I did? I blocked her ass. And then I texted her and said, here's a couple pictures of your great-grandnieces. And do you know why? Because Aunt Nancy wasn't paying my bills. Aunt Nancy wasn't paying my food. She wasn't paying for my rent. She wasn't paying for my car. She wasn't paying for my daughter's tuition. So she doesn't get the right. She can judge all she wants. I just didn't want to think about her. So I just blocked her, right? The beauty of using your Facebook profile, it makes you draw a line in the sand for yourself. Are you okay with you? Do you care that much about what the people in your life? Yes, I get it. Of course you do. Your nervous system hates using your personal profile picture or personal profile page. Your nervous system hates it. It just hates it because it means that you might not be liked. Probably won't mean that. Here's what really happens. Most people say, oh my gosh, This is what you're going to hear, Kristie, because we hear it over and over again. My clients hear it over and over again. Oh my gosh, Kristie, I had no idea you were so wise. Kristie, I've been loving your posts. Kristie, I had no idea you were such a leader. Kristie, I need help in this area. Do you think you can help me? That's what's going to happen. You might get one or two people that you really don't care about that are going to be like, oh, I think you're so smart. I mean, just, you might say, Brad, that's easy for you to say, right? You're ugly and you look mean and no one's going to mess with you. Okay? My greatest struggle in all of life has been wanting people to like me. That's been my greatest struggle in all of life, wanting people to like me. So this was the biggest thing I had to overcome. What are people going to think? What are people good? Because I never felt like I was ever good at anything. So I felt like if people didn't like me, how was I ever going to succeed in anything? It's total BS. It's a story I told myself, but it's the biggest thing I've had to overcome. Kristie, no one's going to go back to 2006. No one's going to go back to 2018. Don't take this the wrong way. No one cares about what's going on in your life that much. If it's a potential client, but no one cares about what's going on in my life that much, right? If it's a potential client, they're going to scroll, yeah, but you just start putting out content, everything else gets buried. Worst case scenario, if it makes you feel better, go back and delete all the Hello Kitty memes. I don't know what your memes are. I'll tell you what, Kristie, if you want, I will look at your profile. We can do a profile audit for you. And I'll look at it without taking everybody through it as well. I'll look at your profile and I'll tell you if there is absolutely something that I think needs to go. But I think what you're going to find is people aren't going to care. Like if you go to my profile, you see all kinds of stuff that's just me. But you better believe you're going to see a ton of content for new coaches and for Fortune 100 execs. Does that make sense, Kristie? I'm a big softie. I am a big softie. Now, I care. I care about you. But honestly, when people are scrolling, no one scrolls. Here's the deal. No one's going to just scroll through your profile unless you've got incredible content that resonates with them and great leadership posts that resonates with them. Then they will scroll. And you want that. You want people to do that. Okay? Is this helpful for you, Kristie? I get it. Listen, there are things. I'll tell you, I had mentors that told me I should not work with new coaches. It'll never work. It'll never work, Brad. Don't work with new coaches. They don't have money. They don't take business seriously. It'll be way more difficult than ever. Go find people who are already doing something good and help them make something great. That's what my mentors told me. And I didn't listen to them because I love working with new coaches. I have a passion for working with new coaches. They said, just focus on your executive clients. Just focus on, I have executive clients. I enjoy working with them, but you see me in this group. I just love helping new coaches avoid all the mistakes that I made. Okay, that means I gotta get rolling. So I hope you find that helpful, Kristie. I had to stay true to myself on that. But then there are other things. You can't run a business and not know your numbers. And you can't just say, well, it's more, I feel more authentic if I just don't look at my bank account. Nope, that's a bad business owner. You're going to get sunk, right? And you can't be a coach and grow your business and want to hide. You can't do it. You cannot do it, okay? So we can talk more about this. We can very much talk more about this. We can talk about how you work through those things, right? Start with Michael Singer's Untethered Soul. It may not be straightforward in how that will help you, but it will absolutely help you in this. You guys, you're all awesome. I'm going to be hopping on later to answer a couple other questions. Kristie, if you have more questions, drop them in. We'll answer them just like this. Boom.